Coming this fall from SJS Direct in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. You can pre-order your copy of The Man Crisis today on Amazon.com. I recently read about Botham Jean, the young brother who was murdered in his apartment by this white female police officer, Amber Guyger. And as I take a critical look at this incident, I see another case of gynocentrism gone amok. Now, your Botham Jean was just sitting in his apartment and getting ready to watch a football game when this Amber Guyger decides to come off work, go into his apartment, and murder him. And what's really troubling about this whole Botham Jean murder is that the Dallas Police Department, led by a black woman, looks like it's making efforts to try to cover up this incident and try to find ways to justify the murder of this young black man. Now, I look at this whole case and I can see the gynocentrism run amok in this situation, because here we have this white female who was coming off of her shift as a police officer. She goes into the wrong apartment and then murders this man, and now is looking for an excuse to get out of it. And what's really troubling is we have people at this police department looking for ways to enable this female to prevent her from taking responsibility for the crime that she committed. And what's really, again, troubling is that you have a black female running this police department, and they're helping to cover up this incident, and they're trying to discredit Botham Jean, a man who was doing nothing more than sitting in his apartment getting ready to watch a football game, by saying he had marijuana in his apartment. And that argument doesn't wash because, one, this white female police officer was not on duty, and two, she was not visiting that apartment based on a police call regarding a crime being committed, and three, these arguments don't hold up because they show that they're trying to deflect to defend this white female. And with them trying to defend this white female, what they are doing is showing how gynocentric our society is, and how it's all about trying to elevate one of these females and prevent her from taking responsibility and being accountable for her actions. Because your Amber Guyger, clearly as I see it, participated in the murder of Botham St. John, or Botham Jean. I get his name mixed up, but she clearly participated in his murder by going into his apartment. She says that she mistakenly believed that his apartment was her apartment, but I don't buy that argument either, because you can clearly, the only way that argument would work is if you were drunk, and in order to be a police officer who did a 14-hour shift, you would be clearly sober. So again, I look at her actions and they clearly show me an intent to kill this black man. And what's even worse is we have all these people going out of their way looking for an excuse to give this white woman for murdering this black man. The gynocentrism in this case is so deep, it's not funny, and it's just another textbook case of gynocentrism gone amok. When it comes down to these females in America, it looks like Americans have no courage to hold their women accountable, and it looks like in this case this woman is looking like she's on her way to getting away with murder. Now, the prosecutors, after all of the outcry, decided they wanted to charge this Amber Guyger with manslaughter, but I believe their inaction made more of a statement about gynocentrism more than anything, because they went first and had the Dallas Police Department then trying to pass it off to the Texas Rangers to deflect so that the Texas Rangers would be responsible. but it looked like no one wanted to hold this white female accountable for her actions. And that shows us the real power structure in white supremacy, that the white female is the one that has the most power in white supremacy, because with everybody scrambling to try to find a way to justify this white female's unjustifiable and egregious actions, again, it just shows how deep the gynocentrism goes within white supremacy, and how white women can literally do something like get away with murder. Now, you've heard me say in numerous videos that gynocentrism has gone amok, and if this white woman is allowed to get away with murdering this black man, it could have deep ramifications for all men in America, because with the legal precedent set by the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial, where men's due process under the law has been destroyed, this female being allowed to get away with this murder would further reinforce that interpretation of the law, that no man in America has no rights any woman needs to regard. And we can clearly see that based on the actions of the black female Dallas police chief, because she went out of her way to make excuses for this white female. And this is what they did as part of their process of covering up. And what's really sad is we have all of these men here in America who can't see the bigger picture as related to Botham Jean or related to Bill Cosby, and how this assault by these females is an attempt to destroy men's rights here in America, whether it be the Sixth Amendment right to due process under the law in the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial, or a man's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of his own happiness, like Botham Jean was trying to participate in by just sitting in his apartment. That's how deep and dangerous this gynocentrism is in America, because I look at this gynocentrism, and again, no one wants to hold these females accountable when they participate in these irresponsible, reckless, egregious, and criminal behaviors. Whether it be a woman like Asia Argento participating in a statutory rape and then no charges being filed as part of this Me Too movement, or something like this murder of this black man by this woman who, officer, whatever, I forget her name. It's all about taking away a man's rights, destroying men's rights, placing men in a second-class citizenship where those men have no rights that they need to regard. Because if this Officer Guyger gets away with this murder, and it might possibly happen because with many Americans still caught up in the race of Botham Jean, they're not thinking about the rights of a man under the Constitution and the rights of a citizen under the Constitution. They're just looking at this white woman and looking for a way to excuse her criminal behavior. This could further undermine our due process under the law, and it could further make things harder for men here in America, because clearly your officer Amber Guyger was in the wrong. She was clearly sober when she went to that apartment, and she pulled that gun to murder that man in his apartment where she didn't belong, because she was trespassing in his apartment. And no one can make excuses for her, whether it be this black female police chief, those Texas Rangers. This is a crime that really this woman needs to be held accountable for. But what's scary is, again, many Americans, because of gynocentrism, put white women on pedestals, and because they put white women on pedestals, they give white women a benefit of the doubt. They give them a pass for their behaviors, and that pass is getting ready to do damage to not only the rights of this Botham Jean, who had his rights violated, but the rights of all men in America, because many people are so caught up in race and trying to justify the death of this black man, that they can't see that allowing Amber Guyger to get this pass will destroy the rights further of all men here in America. As I see it, this Amber Guyger is a murderer, and this woman needs to not only be terminated from the police department, but she also needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the laws of this land, to show all of these American women out here that they are not above the law and that they have to follow the same laws of the United States Constitution, because if you want equal rights under the law, you have to take equal responsibility as an American citizen. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications like the ISIS series, the East-Team series, The Temptation of John Haynes, the Spinsterella trilogy, and my men's issues books, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.